Well, guys, it's been a few days since I've become fully aware. I guess in surveillance parlance they would call it 100% aware, or fully aware of what's been going on. I've been doing some research on the gangstalking, and all I can say is wow. I mean, trying to contemplate the immensity of all that's involved. You know, I went to the police department and I filed a police report about the gang stalking activity, and that's on my blog. But you know, I could tell the cop behind the desk looked like she kind of sympathized with me, but was really kind of helpless to offer any assistance, and I can understand why now that I've done some research. So at this point I'm just trying to wrap my brain around the size and scope of this thing. I've already gone through the process of examining human nature, what type of person would succumb or be involved in this organized crime group. And you know, I come up with a lot of different answers because there's a lot of different people out there that are motivated by all sorts of things. But now I have to decide what I'm going to do from here and where I'm going to go. As far as what the Gangstalkers are concerned with and their objectives, from what I've been able to gather, this is a rather sensitive time when a targeted individual wakes up. There's probably a known list of reactions of what the targeted individual will do, how they'll feel. I've kind of always noticed, even before I was fully aware, that there was some sort of manipulation going on, and I could pinpoint it. I would actually, you know, say it or write it just in private thoughts of what was going on. You know, I told them, you would never recruit me, I would never get involved in something like that. It was all subconscious, though. It was underneath my conscious level, but looking back through memory, I actually had it right. It was like I was being pushed in certain directions and I was responding in the appropriate way. But I stayed true to my character. I mean, I think these people are pieces of shit, excuse me, pieces of dung. I don't know if that's going to clear YouTube. I sure hope so, but you know, my personal opinion is, before I would get involved in anything like that I know is satanically based, that I know is subversive, that I know is in the dark and secretive, it just has all the hallmarks of something the devil would create. Before I would get involved in anything like that, I would be willing to die. And that's probably what's going to happen. I don't know. You know, I don't know what their objectives are. But I was sprayed with something on the street by this woman in black a few days ago, and I got sick. You know, I'm starting to feel better, but who knows what the hell it was that she sprayed me with. Anyway, be that as it may, there is no way that I will ever cooperate with any of these individuals, and I'm going to muster all the strength that I can. And I'm sure I'll be attacked for this, but that's just the way it's got to be. I'm going to muster all the strength that I can to expose it. Looking at the scope of the problem, though, it reminds me of that scene in Shooter, which I keep going back to, the one with Mark Wahlberg and some other actors that I don't know their names, but you know, when Mark Wahlberg finally corners the famous or notorious Russian assassin in his cabin resort, and they're being deluged with Special Forces hitmen. You know, the guy's sitting there and he says, what you're trying to chase or what you're trying to kill isn't something that can be killed with a gun. What you're chasing is actually human weakness, and you can't kill that with a gun. And then he takes that opportunity to off himself, you know. So a lot in that movie is coming back to me, as well as The Matrix. You know, there's a lot of analogies between what's happening to me now, gang stalking, and The Matrix. It's funny how old movies are becoming new again now that I have new eyes to see them with. But yeah, I'm really just trying to wrap my mind around the immensity of it. It is depressing, you know. It's quite a shock to the psyche to know that the world that you thought you lived in was just an artificial construct, that it's not actual reality. So there's a readjustment period going on. This particular psychological shock encompasses both past, present, and future. But you know, I guess as a Christian, this is something that I'm going to have to deal with in a prayerful and godly manner, if I can muster, because there's a lot of hatred built up as well. I mean, who knows what life would have been like hadn't it have been for the interference that I encountered. But then again, that's reality. That's real life. You know, I do live in a world full of human beings that have human weaknesses, including myself, although I'd like to think that I wouldn't go to those depths, and thank God that I haven't. Perhaps being a target individual was actually a blessing in disguise, because it automatically biased me to anything having to do with these people and their organization and what they're doing. So yeah, that's the stage that I'm at now, and I'm gonna have to sort out what it is that I'm going to do with whatever rest of the time I'm allowed to have left or do have left, who knows. But yeah, it's really quite something. It's extremely disappointing, and it's very depressing. Not for the sake of my own life, because I'm 46 years old. You know, my life is pretty much over and lived, and they say ignorance is bliss, so I guess I can consider myself lucky in that even though I had things happening to me, I didn't know what they were, so since I wasn't conscious of it, my mind was better able to deal with it. It's going to be a different story now, so in order to maintain my mental health, I'll probably have to go on the attack and confront it face on, whatever that may bring. But you know, that appears to be life from now on out. So yeah, I'll try to update a little later on whatever progress I'm making, but I guess I have a steep learning curve to climb at this point. Try to learn all that I can about this particular situation and go from here. But it is extremely depressing. Like I said, not for my own life, but just that we live in a world that's rotten, that's full of cancer, you know, that you really have to be vigilant almost every single second of the day to make sure that evil is kept at bay and at a distance as much as you can. I don't know why anyone would want to live like that. The only thing that I can think of is that there's a spirit inside of people that drives them to do this, because who would want to live in a world like that? I can't see it myself. Anyway, I'm going to think about this, and I'm sure I'll get back to you on future thoughts. You can look at my blog. I'll probably be putting a lot of my thoughts down there. And that would be at http://allstaractivist.wordpress.com/. Alright, I guess I'll talk to you later.